Gardening tip 1123 here at the apocalyptic ashram Hawkshaven. So a lot of kitchens, they buy the onions, right, from the grocery store, and they throw the root away, right? And that's an option, but then you have to go buy them again, right? But if you just come out here outside, right, and you put them back into the ground, then they become new onions that you just cut off in about a week and a half to 2 weeks. Right? So we put it in the ground, and if you didn't know, when you plant something, that's why if you're okay, like right here, if we're gonna plant this and we didn't have a tool like a shovel to go ahead and make these little trenches to start planting them, what we would do is we would fug a hole in the ground, right? And then we would plant it, and then we would tamp it, right? And that's what it is to fug something, is to plant it. It's been perverted by this culture that we live in, a cult here, right? Being shaped by idols until a vision programming to see and act and consume a certain way, and to throw everything away once it's no longer useful to you as it was purchased, right? And that's one way we can be doing things. But if we think that the way we've been doing things doesn't make sense, we should probably consider different ways of doing things. Because like right now, I mean, like, hate to get into politics because, boy, people, they get upset because if something makes sense that isn't what they're supporting, their cognitive dissonance kicks in because they don't want to be wrong, right? I mean, who wants to be wrong? I don't want to be wrong. But when I realized that I got upset at political discussions, I had to realize that it was because I was wrong on some stuff. And when I was wrong on some stuff, I had to recognize the root of it. And what was the root of it? The root of it basically is just accepting that anybody has the right to control somebody else if they haven't harmed somebody, right? But that's what we're supporting right now politically. We're saying, well, it's the law. I'm just doing my job. They're making up excuses for immoral behavior because somebody somewhere said so, right? But sorry, I'm not that great at videoing and gardening. I'm trying here, all right? And talking political, right? Dissection of what's wrong in our society, right? Because there's not really that much that's wrong in our society. We have so many awesome people. I mean, really. I mean, most everybody I talk with are pretty awesome people. I meet new ones almost, well, not every day because I don't go to town every day, but almost every time I go to town, I meet a new cool person, somebody that I wouldn't mind hanging out with, or, I mean, well, maybe I appreciate hanging out with people more than other people appreciate hanging out with people because I don't do it very often, right? Maybe that's the key to enjoying other people's company and experiences and presence and stories and these things. But if you're always exposed to it at a level that gets difficult to manage, well, I could see why you'd want some quiet and some peace, But see, that's the thing, is I live in the quiet and the peace, and sometimes the chaos that I created. And when I want to see it change, it happens. And sometimes we're focused on different things, and so chaos is created in our life in abundance, right? I mean, because I've done that. I've when I was focused on making money, I uh, I was spending money somewhat. I mean, that's the point of making it, right? Is to spend it. And so I was spending it on the things that I felt that I would want to build what I'm doing now, right? And so I was buying, and I couldn't afford to really do it because what I'm doing, if I were to buy everything from a store, would cost quite a bit. But because I went to yard sales and I grabbed the things that other people didn't want, I put my ego aside, and I didn't have to be the one to unwrap the present, right? I'm building the present the way I want to see it. And by building the present the way I want to see it, it creates an abundance, because like if I have a couple friends come over and we say, hey, I want some tacos. And we're like, oh, cool. You know what? I know where I can get some onions, right? I don't even have to go to the grocery store to do it. I can just come right out here and you cut the tops off of them and then they go in the ground and they become a new onion. So it's a pretty good deal, really. But yeah, getting back to politics, we're only supporting things because that's what we believe is the right thing, right? I think most everybody I've talked with, they're pretty sure that they're on the team that's doing the right thing. It's, same thing with what if right in the middle of a war, right? What if right in the middle of the U.S. tank or the big boats, big expensive boats. every Navy guy's just boiling right now because they're not gonna boat. Anyway, between that and Iran, right? And we said, hey, hold on, time out. All right, go over to team A, right, and team B, and talk to each of the leaders with each of the teams and ask them. Say, who's the good guys here and who's the bad guys here, right? And well, of course, both teams they're gonna say I'm the good guy. I'm here for peace and liberty and freedom and my ability to choose for me how I want to live and do all the things in my life that make me healthy and happy, right? And if I'm not harming somebody else, I should be left alone, right? Then you go to the other team and they say the same thing. But we have to realize that somebody's lying. Okay, so then we have to ask ourselves, all right, who is in violation of free will, right? Are you coming to my door and starting a fight, or have I come to your door and am I starting a fight there, right? And then we also have to ask ourselves, if I'm going to your door, is there a legitimate reason for that? Is there a what is the reason for me to come to your door to point guns at you or threaten you? Is there a legitimate reason, right? Or is your economy not operating in the way that we would like to see it, right? Or what's really going on here, right? Because what we have is the first law being free will, right? These are some onions that were planted quite some time ago and have already been harvested off a few times. So the first law is free will. And if you're not harming somebody else with your actions, then you're honoring their free will. But when we break the consent of someone else in how they're participating in life, that's where we're not honoring free will anymore, right? If we're not honoring free will, then we're not the good guy.